All right, I'm going to get started with just a general full moon Capricorn reading. The full moon in Capricorn is on July 10th. So that's what I'm going to get started with. Let me just add a little note here. Awesome. All right. Made a little note. I don't remember if on YouTube you get to see my how do I put this the chat afterwards, and I don't know if you get to see the chat that's already happened. I can't remember, so we'll find out. But we're gonna look at Capricorn's full moon that's coming up. And I'm going to be doing Biddy Tarot's fabulous little spread. I like a lot of the Biddy Tarot moon ones, just mainly because I don't know a ton about astrology, but like the more I find out about astrology, the more I'm like appreciative of the full and new moon spreads that Biddy Tarot offers. So I use those. I'm sure there's others out there. Happy to take recommendations. So if somebody knows of some, happy to learn of it. All right. Okay, certain cards are calling that are not all together. Okay. So the first question is, what have I achieved in the last 6 months? And I'll let you see. And that one is this one. What have I achieved in the last 6 months? And what am I yet to achieve? Was right above it. What am I, 3, what does full expansion look like for me? It's this one. What foundations do I need to establish to support my success? It's this one. What is a non-negotiable for me right now? It's top again. And then what do I need to release to feel successful is this one. Okay. Weird spread poll. All right. Put that to the side. This is the Mystical Cats Tarot. Probably should include that, I suppose, in the chat as well, but we'll get there. Okay, so what have I achieved in the last 6 months? So we'll start in our position 1. Oh, it's the Earth Kitten. Oh, I just pulled this actually my daily card pull the other day. So the patience, the slow and steadiness, and the desire to move forward, but not being over rushing it, I guess. That's important, I think, in this. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there's like a calm steadiness that like comes with it. But not like the Knights. The Knights are a little bit more like very much like charging forward. This is more of a calm oh, what's the word I want? Like a calm walk, like you're like smelling the roses as you go. You stop to examine a bug. Basically, if you've ever walked with a toddler or like small ant, like a dog or something, where it's like we have to stop every 10 seconds to look at stuff. That's the vibe that I'm getting, is that you've learned to take your time. You've learned to appreciate, really, to take your time. And that's good. That's not a bad thing. So yeah, I think that's where we're sitting with that, is that there's an appreciation for time that has happened, which is very amazing. And I'm so excited. So how does this tie into what you have yet to achieve? Oh, grace. Okay, now grace is a special card in here, so I have to do some math. It's number 14. So this is temperance. This is temperance in this deck. Okay. Oh, temperance. I'm in a I'm in a group that they do a group pull and temperance was pulled today. Getting to see her again. So Grace, this balancing act, the slow and steadiness that you have been practicing is going to help a ton in this crashing waves kind of a thing. You are going to be taking all of that you've learned, all that patience, all that time, and you're going to take it and you're going to pull it into this absolutely wonderful. You're going to be able to walk along and ignore the storm, basically, um, which is awesome and exciting. I That's so cool. Yeah, I this is very weird that this is the way things are pulling. It's just it strikes me as like the cards are trying to talk to me, but I'm having them try to talk to everybody, but maybe we're all just going through it. Maybe I'm not alone, and that's part of this message is that none of us are alone in this experience. I'm going to try and adjust my lighting here quick. I will be just like a moment here. But I'm seeing my cards are whiting out. One moment. There we go. That should help a little bit. I know I need a different setup at some point here. But that's okay for now. So, what does full expansion look like for me? Is the next question. So, for you guys, Sky Kitten, we have a lot of kitten energy, which is wonderful. This very nice exploratory energy. I think this is a bit more of a hasty. So, we had this slow patience, and now looking into how you can fully, I mean, they are calling it fully expansion. So how can you fully reach your limit almost is by quickly moving and quickly going and doing the thing very rapidly, which is really fun and very exciting. I think this is a really cool. Sorry, things started talking to me. Yeah. And this is the main thing here is that this is going to feel very foreign. Like this is going to be a very fluid, whereas you've had a nice slow, steady pacing for the last good chunk of time. That to really kick it into gear is that you're going to take everything you've known, weather this storm, and also realize that because you can weather that storm, you can also probably start running. You can go a little faster. You can handle this. You're actually very good at handling this. And I think that's an important thing to realize in this situation. All right. So, what foundations do I need to establish to support my success? The two of C. This is so much relationships. Yeah. I'm curious if we're going to get any of the fire because I have comments if we don't. But that kind of grounded earth that has been happening, I think is going to be moving into more of a fluid, like we were seeing with the Sky Kitten, we're going to move more fluid. We're going to move into a more area of allowing others to join us in this project. It's not always solo. It doesn't always have to be solo, and that's important. Um yeah, and that's I think a really important thing to be aware of. Let's see. Yeah. I love this. I love this tie-in. The two of C is such a this is I sorry, there's just a lot of things happening that I'm watching and viewing here that it's like both like both because I'm streaming for the first time, but also like these cards are really talking. I've had a very talkative tarot day, which has been wonderful. Um yeah. Oh, okay, okay. So what is a non-negotiable for me right now is your bottom card here. And it's the 9 of Earth. Yeah. I we're coming from a base point of having this nice slow steadiness. So to have this moment of peace, this moment of calm, this sometimes exploring outside of it can be really hard. And there's not necessarily a sense that you have to go outside of what you've been doing. It's more of like a pick up the speed and start having other people get connected into it. Have other people join you in this adventure, I think is really important. So that's going to be a big thing here where it's like, oh, yeah, others are going to join me. I'm not going to be sitting alone, but I also do need my safe space solitude. That's going to be, yeah, we're going to see those relationships really blossom, and we're going to have a bunch of really awesome things come in and really keep us going, I think, which is going to be awesome, which is great. I don't need to say awesome over and over. All right. What do I need to release to feel successful is our last card. The Sea King. Okay, so no wands. No wands showed up. All right, Sea King. Yeah. I think this Earth Kitten has kind of given you this steady pace, and the balance might get tilted a little bit. You might not actually get to have everything you want, but I think because you want the solitude the most, you're going to have to be aware of when your safe spaces are to when you need to have other people in your life, that these other cats, these other animals, they're going to have to show up. And that's going to be an important thing, an important deal. So, yeah. So no wands. So something, the spark is not here. So I feel like that there's no spark of like new happening, but there is a possibility for a spark of, there's no spark of new, but it's not like a, how do I want to put this? There's no current spark because you're working on the last spark. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have a current spark just because there is a past spark going, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is going to be good. Yeah, I'm excited for the next like full moon cycle basically. This is a good omen that the next full moon is going to be, this is going to be a very unsurprisingly nice and grounded. There's quite a bit of water happening, and that's not typical of Capricorn, but I think that's also not necessarily a, well, I suppose there is some opposition there. So there's just like, there's gonna be a lot happening. there's gonna be there's gonna be some stuff that it's gonna be a really interesting time. So yeah, I'm excited that this is what we're looking at. That was a good reading. I liked that reading. Nice, quick. Let's go for it, and lots to pull. Love the dual. Lots of court cards, which is also fun. Yeah, fun. All right. I have my options for 3 cards for anybody who is in chat. I need to answer something quick. All right. Oh, I suppose I could add a you other person relationship. Ugh, I don't always like reading for other people though, when they're not here to consent. Oh, interesting. I have two note cards that are the same spread, just different names. Nope, they're the same name. Let's do this. I think a lot of people are feeling overwhelmed, and I have another Biddy Tarot spread. I'm just going to do a general reading of Overwhelm. What is our overwhelm right now? I'll update our chat. I'll update the chat. This is not one that I offer on my Ko-Fi. I don't know if it's of interest to people, but it might be. This is another Biddy Tarot one. I think I'm going to switch decks for it. Really want to read with the Landscape Tarot. I think it's just a nice calm deck to read with for something like this. So I think that's going to be a good like overwhelm general spread to read. So yeah, we'll do that. All right. All right. I'm gonna do a general reading for feelings of overwhelm. Unless somebody would like a free reading, if you want to chat. All right. I'm gonna use the Landscape Tarot. This is the deck I'm currently using for the month of July for my personal daily polls. It's a deck that I wanted to get to know better. And I'm excited to get to know it better. It's beautiful. I have a review on my channel. If you haven't already watched it, I don't know. The more I work with it, the better it's gotten. I don't remember what my review was like because I think it was a first look. I love this deck genuinely. So I'm excited. I am currently doing trying to just kind of be around 15 to 20 minutes per every reading I'm doing on stream. So no matter how many cards I pull. So I'm trying to just rapid fire through a couple of these. So if you were watching the VOD, that's the reason some of these are short. If you buy a reading from me, that's not the case. I just want to make room. So if you join me in a live, I want to make room for you to be able to join. And see me and stuff. So yes. All right. One more riffle shuffle. I know I don't have the most aesthetically pleasing layout, but this is what works for me. And this one feels good and shuffled. So we're just doing a general reading for feelings of overwhelm. And this is just for everybody. I think it's an overwhelming time right now. So The first question is, how can I better manage what I am feeling? What are my feelings telling me? Um, how can I help others who are struggling? And what is the lesson in this? Yeah. All right. So, how can I better manage what I am feeling? Page of Wands. Seeing those pages today, man, I think we're all feeling kind of this new energy and this new curiosity for the world. And the pages, I think, are just gonna keep on coming up for everybody. This has been a page heavy stream so far. um, the lovely thing about the Page of Wands is that they are immensely just excited to get out there and do things. And the enthusiasm is there, and I think rediscovering that enthusiasm can be very exciting. I don't know exactly which creature. I think this is a prairie dog in this image, with a little puff of a flower of wow. I'm fully forgetting things today. I'm so sorry. I just can't keep anything in my head. But this curiosity that is happening here is really important. Is this the sign to try something new and to rediscover your drive to figure out what you wish to do with yourself? That's really important and can be incredibly helpful at this time. So, how can you better manage what you're feeling is by rediscovering your enthusiasm, your things that you enjoy doing, going into things that you like, all that jazz. So, that can be really, really helpful. All right. Then our next one is, what are my feelings telling me? And your feelings are the Five of Wands. Yeah. I mean, I kind of started this off with the fact that I think we're all feeling very overwhelmed. And this is a card of overwhelm. And I think it's a card of disagreement and feeling put down, and I think we can really feel that right now in the country. If you're in the US, at least. I can't speak for every other country, but I can see it and feel it a lot in the US right now, that everybody just feels like they're kind of butting heads and nothing is going right. This spark, though, that is happening, that's here in the wands, is like the spark that everybody has in them is wanting to, light a flame and do things. So that's very present in this moment. And that would be something to note here. And I'm curious what the other cards are for that reason. So then, how can I help others who are struggling in this time of strife? Is the King of Pentacles. Court heavy. If you've watched the spread before, court heavy today. We are court heavy. This rock fastness, being the person that others can rely on, this very grounded and understanding of what is happening in the world can be used to your advantage and is something that you can help, something that will allow others to be, what am I trying to say? Will allow others to lean on you, which is helpful. Oof, that still didn't work what I wanted. I think this also will help with your spark of trying to figure out where you're going is going to also be tied in with the fact that this is how it will help others. Is that, like, as you find out that you are figuring out where you're grounded and getting excited about, will help you, like, stick into the mud and dig your heels in, and this will help others be able to follow your lead, figure out what they're doing and how to kind of rally under you and keep moving. And you will be able to kind of see this spark start that you will have within this, which is really nice. What is the lesson in all this is our final card. And that is the 7 of Cups. We need to be aware, yeah, misinformation, what is reality, what is actually not. That's going to be really important in this. Being very careful of your sources, being very careful of who you're relying on, and keeping those close to you really tight. There's a lack of swords here, which is somewhat concerning within all this, that I don't want you to just like fully ride your drive, because there should be a balance as well of your reason and logical. But the nice thing is the lack of swords also probably means that there's not too heavy of a mental burden within this pull. You're going to be able to pull forward and take on the next challenge, which is nice. Look to others. Really, like, don't. Being aware that not everybody has their heart on the sleeve is really important for you potentially becoming a little bit more on top or having a little bit more leadership than you expected. But that is not to be forgotten in all of this. So, yeah. I just this is an interesting, like, we're all overwhelmed, but I think we're all gonna look back on this because there's like no major arcana, that this is gonna be like a blip, a little bit of a blip over like, okay, yeah, we got through that. It happened. It's moved on. And like we did the thing. We stuck our heels in, we moved forward, we were able to light our spark, we were able to get going and do the thing. But it almost feels like the next thing is really pivotal, and this is the preparing and getting ready stage. Whereas like we're kind of in this moment of the seesaw of like waves of things is not at this point at peak. It's just low. So yeah. I'm excited though. This should be fun. I don't think fun's the right word actually. Excuse me. This should be interesting to see how this works out, in that be careful of your sources. That's like the big message from this card. Be careful of your sources. What are you, like, triple check stuff. Don't be lying about things. Not that you're going to be intentionally lying, but you really don't want to be spreading bad sources. It'll come back and nip you in the bud. Yeah. All right. Interesting. That card, like, those ones just flew by. Sometimes some cards just fly by and some cards have like 15-minute rants. Interesting. Oh, should I get really weirdly personal on this? Kind of feel like I should. I feel like everything is kind of telling me to get kind of personal and do like a past, present, future for my channel. All right. I'll do a past, present, possible future for my channel. I don't know what deck to use though. Do I want to use the landscapes again? I think the landscapes is fitting. So we're just going to keep up with the landscapes. All right. I'm going to add a chat thing saying that I'm now working on a past, present, possible future of my own channel because I'm a little selfish. Helps if I can spell. We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out. I'm going to shuffle this quite a bit, though. This is going to be a long shuffling time. I am a riffle shuffler. I know that can be some points of like, some people are like, no. But I am curious about what other people think. Oh. What are your thoughts on the riffle shuffle? That's my curiosity. What are your thoughts on the riffle shuffle? Wee. Because I love a riffle shuffle, personally. Ooh, some hand over hand needs to happen. Yep, that feels better. It's so wild to me how certain ways of shuffling just all of a sudden, like, the cards are happy. No, this wants me on top. Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. This wants to get riffled, but the rest of the deck does not want to get riffled. Just this part. And then riffle the rest, and then riffle the rest. All right. This is how I shuffle. I edit. When I did pick a cards, I would shuffle off screen so I wasn't like shuffling for forever in the videos. But like when I shuffle for clients and stuff, I just sit and shuffle for as long as I need on camera because I'm like, well, here it is coming out of box, and now you get like 5 minutes of shuffling. So here we are. Weird. This is a weird one. Past, present. That's future. All right, if you say so. Hello, Luyanda. All right. All right. I'm just going to do a quick past, present, future for this channel. Ooh, will I be a global artist? Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Let me I think. All right. So, am I saying your name right? Luyanda? I'm so sorry if I'm not. Or if you have a nickname or something you would prefer, let me know. Will I be a global artist? I want to be a singer. I love that. Are you okay? I have options for spreads. Otherwise, I think though for this, a blessings challenges action would be the best combo of it. Oh, good. I'm glad I'm saying it right. Thank you for being willing to tell me no otherwise. But I think the blessings challenges action. Otherwise, theme focused growth might be. Actually, there's a couple of different ones, but I love. That's a great question. But if there's a particular one that calls your name, you can pick which option you would prefer. Hello, fairya. It's kind of like Freya. Fairya. That's pretty. Perfect. Blessings, challenges, actions. Awesome. I love it. Let's do that. I try to aim for about 15 minutes just so we can get more people in. But sometimes the cards got to talk for a while. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to be using the Landscapes Tarot. I think it's been speaking a lot lately to me. So we're going to use it, and it's been giving some good messages. So we will find out. This is a beautiful deck. I forget that the YouTube thing has a little heart thing. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you, guys. Hello, a random person. I'm actually reading for Yolanda in chat right now, and then Fairya came in second. I don't know if they're still here, but you are definitely in line. I'm going to just do a reading here first for Yolanda, and then we'll kind of go from there, if that's all right. Yeah, I'll have you enlist. So I have a little notepad next to me, so you are definitely in line. Don't worry. Don't worry, you guys. I'm not gonna forget any of you. Thank you for joining me. It's evening where I am. All right. So Luyanda. Oh, that's such a pretty name. I just want to keep saying your name. I hope you don't mind. And we are. Will I be a global artist? I want to be a singer. Love dreams that are huge. That's such a wonderful thing. Okay. There's something. Okay. Nope. No more shuffling. This deck does not want to be shuffled in mirror. Okay. Okay. I'm done. I'm done shuffling. These cards got very angry all of a sudden with me. All right. So blessings. Okay. Challenges. And action is apparently this one. All right. I know I have unconventional pulling. I just kind of intuitively pull. Sometimes the cards eventually say stuff. So challenges specifically really wants to talk to you. So we're going to start with our challenges. Oh, King of Wands. So, all right. That would be why. Yeah, the goal may be a bit large at this point. I don't know what your timeline is, and that may be part of it, is that I think with the wand suggests you're like really wanting this to happen now. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen overnight, which is sad. I'm with you. I wish you could become a global artist overnight, which in the new age of TikTok and everything, it sometimes can happen, which is fun, but that doesn't always. I do think that it's a good time to like reflect though and maybe be realistic about what needs to happen. I don't think you're out of the realm though. That's the one thing here, is that it doesn't feel like it's completely out of reach. It's just like something is, and it might be that there's details I don't know about, which might be part of it. So there is something though happening here that is like almost like the scale is really big, but what's going on? And there's something like out of place. Genre? Something about genre just came in. Weird, because like we have a white tiger in a green forest. And typically that would have an orange tiger in it. So why is there a white tiger here? Something is out of place. But we do have our blessings. The Four of Cups. Ah, love a Four of Cups. Yeah. Yeah. So you've been thinking about this from what I can tell. There's been some time to think about this. There is a steadiness and I'm trying to, there's a lot of messages. Sorry. There's things coming in. Yeah, there's a lot of steady power. And you are emotionally aware, which is wonderful. Really nice. You're very emotionally aware of what's going on. So I think this is a blind side to you, which I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be that way. I didn't mean to be so rude. But you're getting a little bit blindsided, and because you've been on this like steady course, you've been flying, you've been going, you've been aware of the reflection, and now you're all of a sudden like, oh, I'm in a jungle and I don't know how I got here. And I think that's part of it that can be a little jarring. The action in this is the Two of Cups. Oh, you need to reach out to others. Yeah. This is a great time to lean on your friends, the connections you have, the people you know. This is the next step. So like this might have been a completely solo project from this point, and now we're needing to move into what connections am I working? What connections am I talking to? Who do I just need to start having a relationship build with? Who do I sit down and have coffee with? Who do I talk to about things? Yeah, there is a lack of swords and pentacles here, which suggests that there might be some amount of reason and grounding that may you may have already figured out, hopefully, that you've kind of already sunk your feet in the ground and you're like, "Yep, here I am, and here this is what's happening." Does any of that resonate with you at all, Yolanda? Yolanda? Oof, I think I just mixed up a couple letters in your name, so sorry. That's awesome. I'm glad it connected with you. This is emotionally, I know you're probably having a lot of things right now, and I see it. Like you're valid and they're okay to have. I just like my piece of advice would be take some time to like kind of figure out where what things are doing. This is a great time to plan and think and talk to a friend. Seriously, connect with somebody because I think that's really what your next step is just to like start connecting to people. And I think a friend specifically would actually be a great time to like explain and have a good I don't know if event sesh is really the correct way here, but like having like a good planning sesh, I think is probably the better way to make if that makes a bit more sense. Um, yeah. Oh, I love seeing these cards though for you. This is wonderful. I feel kind of bad starting off with that King of Wands because I think I kind of blindsided and I did not mean to because that felt a little mean once I pulled the other cards out. Was there anything you needed a little bit more clarity on in this or where you had further questions at all? I think overall it is a possibility. I don't think the door hasn't closed, if that makes sense. These cards are not saying it's gone, the opportunity's over. There's nothing sad about these cards at all in the sense of is, in the sense of an opportunity. I just think that there is some needing to realign and understand that your goals might actually be shifting. And it's, I think, more of an internal shift. While you would love to have certain things, I don't know if you're prepared for them or if it's something that you actually will end up liking when you get it. There might be a little bit be careful of what you wish for because you actually might get it kind of a deal here. And that's my only concern with being like, is it possible? Sure, but like, do you actually want it? Is I think a more important question here. So you have to be very careful. I'm not trying to like despair your dreams or anything when I say that. I want you to be a little careful because these cards don't scream that you're ready for that. And it could be something that down the line you are, but in this moment, I think if you had like the TikTok viral kind of deal, I don't know if you would be as ready as you think you are. So I would maybe either do a little research. Again, that might be that connections thing where you know somebody who can help you a little bit and then realize where those goals are and realign. It is a double-edged sword. Fame is I can never decide if I wanna be famous or not because it's, like, one of those deals where it's like, "Ooh, this could really come into the back." Even, like, doing this, I was a little scared to do this because it's like, you hear about streamers who get doxxed and swatted and all that stuff, and it's like, "Man, how much do you wanna put yourself out there?" And it's a scary situation. So, yeah, serious consideration, I think, needs to happen, but definitely the door is not closed. There's no sign of that here. It's just, like, some reworking on the plan is really what's your next step. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I forgot to put a timestamp, but if you ever, I'm going to keep this VOD up. So if you ever want to revisit it, I think it was about 45 minutes into the VOD. You can watch yourself, your reading again. So thank you so much for letting me read for you. I really appreciate the opportunity. Fairya, if you are still in chat, could you just like maybe do a little hello? I saw your question earlier. I just want to make sure you're still here. Thank you so much, Yolanda, for subscribing. That's so sweet. Hello, you are still here. I'm assuming you still would like to go with um your original question. I don't know if you got to see the card options. If you have any that you would prefer. And I might be just old. Is AG an acronym for something, or is it just like a significant other person? Perfect. I just wanted to clarify before I'm and in this situation, I would be willing to do, I don't have it as an option on here. I could do like you, him, and then the relationship as a spread if that's something you are interested in. Perfect. And am I pronouncing your name correctly, Fairya? I am almost pronouncing it Freya, and I know that's not what it says. Jasmine, perfect. I would love to use your name if that's all right with you. Awesome. All right, Jasmine. So we are going to be looking at something for you, him, and then the relationship. And you're going to be asking kind of advice kind of idea. Okay. We might sneak in a fourth card in on this for an advice card, but I want to see kind of establish what the current relationship is, because sometimes you just, that's over and done with and we know what the answer is. Sometimes though, one more card might be needed. So we're going to see. You might be sneaking in a fourth card. All right. Man, this deck is just having some interesting shuffles, but this one is like very straightforward, which is nice. This is a nice trick. So this top card is going to be you. We're going to look at him. Okay. And then we are going to do kind of the relationship of it. Is he manifesting you? Okay. So we're going to start with him then. Let's just kind of see what's going on. We have the Knight of Wands. Okay. Probably in this situation, he's on his own adventure and there's probably no looking back. Yeah, that's the like initial vibe this gave me immediately was like the no contact thing suggests that he's not even thinking about it anymore, which can be a little rough. And you, oh, you have been on the slow, steady. And this is very interesting that the cards are all facing towards him and he's not even looking. Yeah. You've been doing this like nice, slow, steady work, probably some good self work, which is really nice. Let's see how the relationship. The 10 of Wands. Okay. Yeah. This unfortunately isn't reading particularly well. And with everything just moving like away from you in this situation isn't boding particularly well, unfortunately. I don't think he's not even like looking back very much, which is unfortunate from what it sounds like. I do think though, whatever work you have been doing on yourself is going to benefit you greatly in the future. But I think this is a chapter that can close for you. Does that resonate at all? Am I off the beaten path or what's happening for you? If you're willing to share, you don't have to share anything, by the way, Jasmine. I'm sorry. But maybe it's for the best. We all grow in different ways. Coworkers. It may have been the situation you guys were in that you guys like, you got to see each other. Oh, that's a bummer. This kinda feels like a situation that you may have been toyed with a little bit, and that sucks. Especially with how fast he's kinda moving on and you were, like, really ready to sit and commit. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah. This is feeling like a situation where it's time to let it go, and especially with this 10 of wands, it's like, it's time to travel forward, and sometimes that might be just because let's see here. Oof, blocked you all at once too? I wonder if he just decided to just end it there because he needed to move on. That's a bummer. I'm sorry. Especially I'm not super surprised with the Knight of Wands being his card. The haste of it all is not particularly surprising with that spark. I don't know if it would have worked out between you two as it is. I think though, I'm going to pull one more card of advice of how you can handle this situation. Was the moving on recent? The Knight of Wands suggests it depends on your terms of recent, but suggests it's been like weeks. It's not been months. It's been like weeks. So I don't know how recently this happened, but the wand suggests weeks to me. Good for you. It sounds like he was a coward. I like that you called him out for it. Although I think that's a little daring of you. I wouldn't have pulled that from you out of that Page of Pentacles. But I think also, well, good. At least you were nice about it. Would you like me to pull an advice card to move forward? You're reading like really just zoomed along, so I'm happy to pull an advice card for you because I did kind of mention it. Okay. I did a slight shuffle, and I'm going to be very honest. The cards are really calling that I needed to stop shuffling because this is your card. So, our advice here, oh, the Eight of Wands. Now, I know those wands feel like they've bitten you, but I love this Eight of Wands because this is a card of change. And this is what you really need right now. You're you are going to be looking on some beautiful things coming up in your future. Sometimes this actually means quite literal physical movement. And with a job change, sometimes that's part of it is like Eight of Wands often means like physical travel. Um, it can show up in some people's lives when they quite literally move from a place to another place. But this doesn't quite feel that dramatic. But this does mean like this is good movement happening. It's also like a really good change is happening. And I love this combination with your page of pentacles because you've been on a really good patient path. You've been very patient with them. And now you get to let your spark go. You get to let your emotions take over and you get to go explore again. You know it's over. You get to move on. And that's a wonderful thing. I think you're in a really good place. I love this wands, by the way. This chameleon is like excited to explore all the colors that he is seeing, and you get to go do that. It probably doesn't feel like that right in this moment. It takes a little time, but it is coming. So that's going to be good. Fairya, did you have any other questions or anything I can help you with? So, like within this reading, or is this resonating and helping? It doesn't necessarily suggest love. It honestly feels the the energy and what I'm kind of hearing more of is that you get to figure out you a bit more, which is really nice. And I know it doesn't always feel like that. Sometimes we're always just chasing the next relationship, but this would be a good time to take some pause and let yourself grow a bit more and get to explore a little. Like just like let yourself find out what you like and love to do. And a lot of the time you'd be surprised what can end up happening. And this might be a really good time to reevaluate what you want out of relationships, or are relationships even something you do want in general, kind of a deal. Just depends. Some of us are better off with having a bunch of friends than having lovers, and some of us just want lovers, and that's okay. Either way of what you end up deciding. I'm not trying to shame it or anything here, but I do think this is one of those things where you need to like have some exploration and have some time. If you meditate, I know that can be a little, some people don't like meditating, but having some time to like sit and think with yourself would be really beneficial in this moment, to have some time to figure out what you corely believe in. The lack of cups does suggest that you might want to look at the relationships you already have and reestablish them. Just putting that out there. That's totally fair. I understand. As much as one can. Self reflection in this time is really what I keep seeing. Relationships are work. And I think that's the hard thing that some of us forget, especially in the social media age where everybody makes it look very easy. And it's like, no, relationships are still work. So, some time, figure out what you want to do, pick up a hobby, find a, take up knitting or something and join a knitting group or something. I don't know. There's also like lots of, if you can't find them in your area, you can look on Facebook groups or other like Discord groups and such. There's a lot of places that have even online relationships can be very beneficial. And you can do stuff like this where you stream together or something and you can build relationships that way. Thank you so much, Fairya, by the way, or Jasmine. I kept calling you Fairya. You told me your name. I'm sorry. Jasmine, for letting me read for you today. I really appreciate it. A random person, are you still in chat? Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, by the way, Jasmine. Just so you're aware, it felt like the cards were done. That's why I was ending and wrapping up. There was not much for them to tell you. So work on yourself and get on. I think figuring out some things for yourself. I think figuring out some friendships and stuff first before we work on lovers might be a good way to start looking at it. All right, a random person. Thank you for waiting. I don't know if you already had Aquarius in mind. Twin flame or not. I actually do not work in twin flame. I'm sorry. It's just not something that I do. But I'm happy to do like just like a you them relationship kind of spread. I know I don't have that on here, but I can do that. And then if you guys, I'm just gonna pop this in here because while Yeah, I can definitely do that, a random person. One moment. Just I'm gonna pop something in here quick. I do have a Ko-Fi, so if you want more like where I'm not focused on streaming and stuff and answering messages, I have a Ko-Fi. It's also if you wish to tip me, but it's got some more fun spreads for more cards and everything too. But that's just if you're interested or not. There's no responsibility. You do not have to do it, so don't worry about it. Yeah, we can do a little bit of. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, we'll do you, him, and then kind of where the relationship is standing, and that'll kind of tell us how the future looks for you guys as well. Everybody with the relationships today. I always forget how much relationship spreads are like everybody's favorite. Oh. And this VOD will be available later, so if you want to rewatch your reading or anything, it'll be on the channel, so you can watch it as long as I think I've got the settings all good for that. I don't know if anybody else is new, just lurking in chat. I do not have anybody after a random person. So if you would like to get in line, you most certainly can. All right. You, let's see, current crush. All right. And then it's he for them. All right. And a random person, are you okay with me using just a random person for your name? If we'll have a future. His initials is yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. How are the cards feeling? The cards want here. They want weird things. That's what the cards want. This is him, you, the relationship. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think this card, seems like a spread that just wants to all get revealed at once. So we're going to look at the whole thing and get the big picture right off the bat, it seems. Okay, that 3 of Swords right in the middle. All right. But you both are like in that Pentacles, which is nice. Yeah. Okay. There is, because your specific question is what he feels about me right now and if we'll have a future. There's a lot of growth if you want this to work. This isn't a closed door, but there is definitely going to be a hard speed bump. You are a person who wants to work through it and make it better and make this thing work. And there's probably going to be a part of him that is going to turn away from you in this problem. And you're going to think he's shutting you out when really he's just trying to get through it in his own way. And his own way is going to be potentially gift giving from what it seems. Yeah, there's a lot of like gift giving aspects to this. I think there's almost like a situation of you guys are so similar that it'll cause you to butt heads. You're both so grounded. You're both so like on it that you're like, oh, this isn't that when you guys don't align on things, you guys are gonna feel like you're just spinning out of control and apart. The 3 of Swords, while typically is just straight up, most people would say it's a heartbreak card. I think there's actually a really good point of knowing that it's a growth card and that there's like a cycle of life to it. in this imagery, we actually get to see that in the polar bear has made a kill and something had to die in order for the polar bear to live. And that is what I am getting for this relationship. It's not that it's a closed door. It's not that it's like off the table. It's just that if this relationship keeps moving forward and that it works out, even, at the start, it's going to feel like really good. You guys are vibing. Everything is working out really well. You guys seem to be on the same page. And then something is going to happen. I'm trying to see if I'm not getting an exact thing on what the thing is, though. That's the only thing. There's not like a specific, not getting it, but it's going to be something that just causes a major divide. And it's a matter, that's like your make or break moment. Let me see. So, like, is there a future for you guys? Yes. But it has the potential of ending very poorly or you guys growing very strong afterwards. And that is a thing you have to work together to do. And it's not a one-sided team. And I think in this situation, you're going to feel like you're doing it as a one-sided team. But his reaction to the situation is going to be just different to yours. Yeah, it's this like very close in Pentacles because you have the Three of Pentacles to the Six of Pentacles seems very similar, both very grounded. You have strong earth energy. You're probably very, I don't want to, materialistic isn't the word I want, but materially aware of like finances and things that you have. And that can be sometimes very difficult in balancing the two. And you guys are similar, like, yeah, we can figure out kind of what he feels right now. Well, okay. I do not dig into people's personal lives that are not here to consent to it. That's kind of where I draw a line. So I'm not going to dig into his feelings because that's not for us to feel. I can pull a card on how to best support him for you, like on your side, but I am not digging into his feelings because he's not here to consent to that. And that's just my personal line as a tarot reader. There are other readers if you would like to seek out that will do that. The reason I don't do twin flame stuff is that I'm not very knowledgeable about it. And so I can't particularly say if you do or don't. So I'm definitely no authority on it. I think can just tell you that you guys can work together, but that's about all I can tell you. It's just like this is going to be one of those relationships that like will have a make or break moment, so with the current reading, the way it is, I don't think you guys will get married. I think you'll hit that break point and it will fall apart. I don't think the door is completely closed, but it is one of those things that it's going to be a lot of work. And I don't know if both of you are willing to put in that work. And it might be you're willing to put in the work, but is he willing to put in the work? Can I see if we're compatible? Yeah. I'll pull one more card kind of just to see. I think the thing here is there is some things that'll work for you guys. It's just like you're gonna hit a speed bump and that's the point you're gonna make a break. I think you're gonna have a really good time before you guys hit that point, and then something's gonna happen and you're gonna be like, this is the point that breaks it. But yeah, I'll kind of pull one more card for kind of just a generic compatibility. Underlying energy seems to be the King of Swords. Yeah. The King of Swords does not bode well. Does not bode well for the outcome. And the lack of cup cards completely here is not a good sign. That's fair. And you guys might be a really good like dating match, but it might not be the long-term thing. That's the thing. Some people are here to be just a current relationship for an X amount of time, but they're not going to be the long-term forever. And sometimes that's wrong. And I don't believe the tarot cards are set in stone in any way, shape, or form. This is just the knowledge that we had at the time of flipping the cards. I think even now, fate has already shifted slightly by just even seeing the cards. You now know that potentially something's going to come up that's going to be really hard on the relationship. So if you would like to pursue it, by all means, go for it. And just be prepared that when the tough times are tough, he's not going to do the things that you think are the correct things in those times, but it's because he's trying to process his feelings or however he needs to handle the situation. And it's going to look different from you. And maybe you need to just ask him. I don't know. The swords are very like cut and dry cards. And so that might be the asking of just getting it a straightforward answer. Just cut it and do it. Again, with his personality and stuff, I'm not delving into his life. He's not here to consent to that, and I'm not okay with just reading for him for that. I'm gonna be honest, random person, the cards have really feel like they're done telling you whatever they want to tell you. Um, so there's not much else I can really say. The cards are kind of done. I'm sorry. All right. All right. And I did not have anybody after a random person. Oh, a month. Okay. All right. Yeah. Kind of looking at jobs. Is it Fazila? Is that how you say it? Or is there another name you would wish to go by? Till when I will get a job. I want to preface something. I've not had a very clear month reading before. I usually get, although I do usually get like weekdays, months kind of a thing. I've just never had like a clear month come up. That is the only thing when reading, is I've never had a very specific month come up. This July. Okay. Yeah, are we looking into like the next month? Okay. Yeah, I can work with like, is it coming relatively soon kind of a thing, if that's okay with you. I just won't know if like, sometimes it's a little vague. that's my one problem, is that sometimes it's like it's weeks, but it won't tell me how many kind of a deal, but it's not going to be a month kind of a thing, if that's okay with you. Perfect. Cool. I don't know what it is. If it's like the spirits that I specifically work with or what it is, sometimes I don't get very specific, like it's going to happen on December 3rd. I don't get those, but I do get like a general timeline kind of a deal. So let's see. Just kind of a timeline of when. Is there anything else within this that you would like to know? Like, would you like an advice card or anything? I was thinking pulling kind of what's about when, and then an advice to help with it. If there's any other specific inquiries within that. These cards need a lot of shuffling. I am slightly killing time because these cards are very upset. Fair enough. Don't we all need a job badly? It's not a fun time. All right. So let's look at a timeline for you. Cards want to get divided here. All right. Very decisive right now. Okay. Our overall. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, lots of queen energy. Yeah. This is a good month. This is a good month. And it's feeling like a job that you want. It's not like you don't have to settle kind of job. It's going to be this job this is good. Now, I'm a firm believer that your future is not like set in stone. So whatever you're doing, you got to keep doing it. You don't give up on applying. You don't like, it's not just going to fall in your lap kind of thing. You still have to keep doing your work. You got to still do your part of it, but your efforts will be paid off. Because you can still change fate. So if you give up now, you can ruin it. but you can also make it amazing. And I think you've got really good things coming. Yeah, that Nine of Cups is specifically really, really nice, especially right in between those queens. That, like, satisfying moment, for this camel to get water, that's, like, the moment we're gonna have, like, this is your oasis. This is it's coming. But, like, the queen suggests to me you still have to put in the work. And I know that can sometimes feel a little like, oh, it's like, you've probably been feeling that it's just out of reach. It's just over the next dune. For reals this time. It's coming, but we do just have to put it. Yeah, good. I'm glad you're I just get scared for people because sometimes they believe that, like, this is set in stone and I'm just gonna get it, and then they slack off and then it doesn't happen, and it's like, "No, you still have to put in the work for the magic to happen." That's how it works, unfortunately, and maybe fortunately, but yeah, keep doing what you're doing, and don't shove your logic to the side. I think you that's the only thing, is just, like, keep reasonable, keep, keep your keep aware of your finances and everything still. Don't just assume anything. You have to just keep working at the way you're doing, but you are going to see the benefits for what you've been working on. So I'm very excited for you. Yeah, just keep applying. It's a weird thing. I don't know what Italy exactly offers for community help or anything, or how applying in Italy even works. So I hope this goes well, but you might find it in places that you didn't expect. So you need to just probably keep chatting, keep applying, keep letting people know that you're looking for a job. I don't know if Italy is at all a word of mouth place at all, but sometimes you get the right person to find out that you need a job, and all of a sudden you have a job. So, but you got to be putting in the work. If they see you putting in the work, they're probably going to be interested in you. So, thank you for coming in and letting me read for you. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad I was able to bring you good news. That's wonderful. I don't always feel like I get to do that. Yeah, I think you're the only unless somebody else is in chat who would like a reading, but otherwise I think you're alone. Oh, nope, somebody has said hello. Hello Benita. Let me pull up my thing unless you have a very specific inquiry. I have some options for some 3-card options. Otherwise, yeah, by all means, Benita. If you're still here, Fazila, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. We can potentially look into another reading in a bit, depending on how many people are here. But yes, Benita, you are more than welcome. I don't know if you want to stay around, Fazila. So, but I'm gonna do a reading for Benita first, and I could do another after. Pop you in line. Okay. So this is actually a question I won't do, Benita, because they are not here to consent to having their tarot read. It's just a personal thing for me as a reader. I don't dive into other people's feelings. I'm happy to do a reading about how you can best support them, or how you can kind of like generally look at the relationship, but I'm not diving into somebody else's feelings or anything just because they're not here to consent to that. And I don't feel comfortable doing that. Would you like a different reading at all? Yeah. So I'm comfortable doing a like relationship reading, which basically would look at you, him, and then what the relationship itself could potentially have or do. And it doesn't dive super deep into him though, just so you're aware. It's going to be a bit more focused on you and kind of what you can do to help him, or be more supportive, I guess. And then what the relationship itself will kind of look like, if that makes sense. And thank you for your understanding. I know some people are very uncomfortable with their tarots being read and stuff. And so therefore I think I like the consent aspect of it past even if they're sitting here. So Whoop. Oh, okay. Cards are saying this is you, him, and this is the relationship. Okay. That felt like a very quick shuffle for this deck. This deck usually has been wanting a little bit longer today. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, that's why this card wanted to be revealed first. Temperance. Time of healing, a moment of peace. We're coming off some sort of ending that has happened beforehand. Okay. All right. 5 of Cups for you and the Queen of Wands for him. Something within you may need to grow before we can fully get into this. Not into this relationship kind of thing. Before you act upon those potential feelings, there's something that you may need to focus on in order to get to a point where you can best benefit him. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh no. I didn't mean to call you out like that. I'm so sorry. I yes, I think there's some stuff that needs to get worked out. The lovely thing is that the Temperance card has shown up though. The Temperance card is a wonderful moment of peace, and it's an interesting thing that you say that, because like the card that in the cycle of the major arcana, the card before Temperance is death, and usually something has ended before this. Something had to come to an end. And it could be that like that something may have surfaced that needed to be crushed, and it could be on either of your ends that something very pivotally important has happened, and it might be that neither of you are aware. It could be something on his end, it could be on yours. Again, you don't have to share anything, by the way, in the chat. I'm totally okay with you keeping it to yourself, and I just deliver messages as I see them. But I want you to be aware that some things we're now in a moment of peace, but things have ended. But I think on your end, we're not quite to that Temperance moment. There's still some things that are feeling like they're kind of coming apart, which can be a little uncomfy. Within this cycle, though, I would be careful of the temptation that can come with speedily doing this. This feels like it needs a little bit more time to cook, in a sense. You gotta let this one wait a little bit longer. And I think a little bit more patience will be good. I think you guys are doing really well. I think there's like really good things happening. I think there is a very good chance that like he seems like a very happy person. That Queen of Wands is a wonderful card to get for the other person. And I think your honesty about your emotions can be incredibly welcomed by his spark. His light will be incredibly good balance for you. But there is sometimes where this is not the time for you to come and potentially drown him in the emotions. That might completely put the spark out. So this is like one of those things where it might be like, let's just wait a minute. But this is a very good positive look at what we're seeing right now. I'm very happy for you. This is nice. This feels so calm. That Temperance card always, like every time it comes out for me, I just feel like You're finding a nice spot, like a nice resting point. No, and I don't think you wanna completely diffuse this entire relationship by any means, but I do think this is a point where you need to oh, hold on. I'm getting a message of some sort. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. The reason you need to take this moment of rest and not pursue this relationship is actually the next this is might be a little confusing, but the next card in the cycle of what's going to happen is actually the devil card, which is a lot of temptation. Something is going to come up, and if I you jump this too soon, it's going to easily break. We're trying to make a foundation here, something not shaky. We're trying to really make things work. She's like, "Oh, am I too old? I don't know if I know what a cappy is. Is that is that a sign of my age? I'm so sorry." Oh, okay, it was a Capricorn. Perfect. I just wanna as somebody who is also a Capricorn, I was like, "Is that what we're talking about?" I'm so sorry. I'm not hip and young with the cool kids, okay? Hello, fellow cool kids. That's all I can think about is that meme now. Perfect. I'm vibing with this person because I have a Capricorn sun, so I understand that it's yeah, there's can be a lot of other things going on there, which is especially with a Capricorn sun, and this might be a personal anecdote, so I'm sorry if this does not vibe, but sometimes it's just a front, and you have to be very careful if there's anything else going on behind it, especially if their moon is something very different from a Capricorn, especially if their moon and rising are both different. And so you have to be a little bit aware, but yes, that Capricorn usually vibes with that temptation devil. I love the devil card. Moon and Scorpio for him. Oh yeah, then we're gonna need to be a little yeah, you're gonna wanna be a little bit careful in this situation, which is why I think we need to enjoy this moment of peace where you're like, you're probably it sounds like you guys are vibing. Like you guys are like chilling, things are great. You're both, hey, you guys are both sitting there. You guys, we have a lamb and wolf situation on this card. I know my camera's not perfect. Um, this lamb and wolf situation is that things could go bad. Things could. We're currently not at that point though. And that next point in the cycle here is we need to realize that something could go bad. He just stares and lingers around. Honestly, fair. I think you just have to be kind of careful because something I think is going to come in and kind of rock the boat. Um it's a Capricorn party up in here. I love this. um Maybe Capricorns just love a tarot. I love that. Anyways, I'm so sorry. Getting all off track on your reading. I think though that in this the point of the cycle of this relationship is very important and very pivotal and there's good things happening here, which is great. The thing I just worry about is that we need to get through the hardship and yes, no rash decisions. Don't I I'm hesitant to say this because it doesn't feel right, but it feels like there's another person coming and that it's going to feel like it kind of third wheeled or they've inserted themselves. And you both have to decide that you guys are trying to go for each other before you make this an official a decision. The word is not coming to me. I don't want to official sounds like too official. Before you commit, if that makes sense. Or like a family member as a third person. It's not incredibly clear, to be perfectly honest. There's just like another entity that's coming in and it's gonna like change how you two dynamically hang out. It could be a new friend, it could be a family member, it could be just something that like one of you ends up having a new best friend and that just doesn't vibe with the other person. It's not particularly clear for me of what this other being is. But it seems like that's the thing that's going to come in and kind of rock the boat. And if you guys aren't on a stable ground, the whole thing's going to fall over. But right now you're vibing. Keep the vibe. And just keep building. Keep digging. Keep hanging. Keep what am I trying to say? Instead of keep over and over and over. Um am I trying to say? Yeah, building the foundation, figuring out what you guys both believe in and agree on, and finding that rock solid ground. Yeah. We are both secretly crushing on each other. I mean, I try not to be too obvious, like too into it, but like y'all seem like you're vibing and like things are working out really nice. And I'm not against saying that you guys could definitely go on a date, but I wouldn't say like you're in a committed relationship at this time. I would be like allowing each other to openly be kind of like, we're not monogamous at this point, if that makes sense. Like, you're not like in a committed, you're my only person I'm dating. That might not be a good thing to fully dunk into at this point. But like having a date to see if you guys vibe would not be like completely off the table. Especially to like see if you vibe in that setting. Yeah. And communication is key. It always communication is key. So if only he gains the courage. We are now in 2025. He does not have to be the one who does it. Just letting you know. Also, on the speaking of your 5 of Cups, you will move out of this and have a nice your next move will probably be kind of having rose-colored glasses looking back once you're kind of out of this sadness. But I don't want those rose-colored glasses to fog your imagery. So, you know what? That's who doesn't want to be reached out to. I will say then that maybe that's the temptation here, is that you need to, like, we just sit and wait then. Maybe we see how serious it actually is. Maybe that's why there's some calm now, and then it moves into that, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna? It seemed to resonate with you, by the way, Benita, and I'm really glad. Thank you as well for letting me read for you. I feel like that's kind of where it needs to end, unless there was something that like really driving that you think I didn't quite check on there. But this feels like a really good spot. So I'm going to end it here if that's all right. Fazila, you are up next. I'm glad he's looking out for you. Fazila, if you are still in chat, I need to run to the bathroom and get some water. My water bottle has emptied and I'm doing a ton of talking. I'm very happy that people have shown up. If somebody else is in chat and wants to get in line, you are more than welcome. Ooh. You know, I've never done anything with ethnicities or anything, and I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that again because it's prying kind of into their life. I can give you a timeline though of when the lovers are though for you, Fazila. I've been using the Landscapes Tarot. I'm gonna take like a quick 5-minute break here, and I will also post a video I'll link a video if you guys would like to pick out a deck at all. I'll do that. One momento. While I get some water. Because I thirst. Oh, come on. I want this link. Okay. If any, while I'm getting water, if you would like to check out that link that has all of my decks that I can read with, I am going to go and fill my water bottle, run to the bathroom quick, and then I will be right back. And we will go into when you will meet your future soulmate. All right, I am back. Thank you for waiting. Um, the difference between the decks is mainly just art. There's nothing really else. It's more of if you just like prefer a different art. So I like the landscapes. I think it's nice, easy art to look at. That's the only difference. The Oracle decks I wouldn't recommend. It would be just the Tarot deck specifically. All right. All right. Cards are getting close. Sorry, I know it's a lot of shuffling, but these cards are feeling like they're needing a good shuffle. Thanks for your patience. I don't mean to. I'm not trying to take your time. I swear. I'm just like, oh man, these cards are. They just need a minute. Thankfully, this deck doesn't feel exhausted. Really, it's just feeling like it needs a little bit. Like things just need a moment to get where they're supposed to go. All right. When will we meet? When will we meet? When will we meet? Yeah. All right. Oh, that ended up being very straightforward for all of that. Yeah, usually if you're willing to wait for the cards to end up where they would like to be or how they need to align, it ends up being a far better reading. I've tried to rush a couple readings before and they're kind of mushy and they don't make sense. And that's never fun for anybody, me or the querent. All right. Yeah, so we're just going to flip all three in this case. Oh, the High Priestess. We have the Knight of Wands again running into our Three of Cups. Great with the Three of Cups looking for somebody. Yeah. This is how we can use the tools. I'm thinking, or not thinking, there's a lot of messages coming because this is a lot. There's a lot of info right here. So my silence is not because it's not a bad thing. It's just there's a lot happening right now in my trying to decipher. Interesting that there's not really wanting to be a timeline. Okay. This is giving oh, this might not be a good answer. I'm sorry. This is probably not an answer you want. This is giving um that it's gonna come once you've realized the work you need to put in because you're not what is it trying what am I leaping into the relationship is not what we need to be doing. The hasty movement. Oh, okay. Yeah, the hasty movement trying to just like, boom, let's jump into that water is not, this isn't your time kind of a deal. And the, hi, Volka. The thing though, oh, there's a lot of chatter right now. Sorry. There's a lot of chatter in my brain going on. There's a lot of things, a lot of stuff talking. There is like a point of like you're trying to be too hasty, which is not usually the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is not usually this hastiness, but this card really depicts like a you're on the move, we're going, we're doing the thing. The Three of Cups is like such a nice relationship card though, that it's like, I'm trying to figure out what if they're trying to tell me that you're moving too fast or if you are going to feel like it's too fast. Because it's not giving me a clear timeline, and I know that's what you asked. And it's not really giving me a very clear timeline. This High Priestess, though, I like this High Priestess because something in there is incredibly powerful and amazing and not self-fulfilling. Well, yeah, maybe self-fulfilling. Like there is something that oh, okay. Learning to stand on your own is incredibly important in this. And if you feel, yeah, that's where we are. Okay. I'm getting it now. If you feel like you can stand on your own and sit here and be like, yup, I'm doing this thing. I'm on top of this. This is me doing the best that I can do with myself, knowing that I'm good single or I'm good with another person. That kind of moment of like whatever happens happens. That's what this is saying. And I think yeah, no, this is definitely okay. We're I'm so sorry. I know this has been a lot of rambles. Okay. You are going to feel like the High Priestess, or the goal is to feel like the High Priestess, where you've gathered your sources. The Magician before this moment is like you have gathered all of the tools, you've gathered your everything. You feel like your friendships are working out, you feel like your job is working out, you feel like life's together and you feel like really good, and that you're now able to kind of add other things into it. You're kind of at a good starting point where things are going to feel really, really solid. And I think what's going to happen, from what I'm getting from the cards, is what's going to happen is that you're going to kind of end up into this relationship and you're not going to see it coming, and it's going to blindside you. This relationship is going to pounce on you and you're not going to be prepared in the sense of you were looking for it, but you're going to be prepared in every other way of your life. I'm really not getting a timeline from this. That's the only thing. Is it going to be this year? I think, yeah, actually, though. Like, it seems like there's a lot of good things. I don't know about ethnicity. That's kind of prying into him. And I don't normally read for anything like that. But this is very much feeling like it's gonna surprise you. I don't think you're gonna see it coming. So don't be looking for it. Yeah, like just let it happen when it happens. Like focus on everything else. Focus on getting, you know, keep your friendships good and solid, keep your familial relationships really good and solid. Your job's feeling good, mentally, emotionally, physically, kind of like work on all of the things that you just feel like you're like a really great human. Like you're just doing your thing. And then I think it's just gonna all of a sudden you're gonna be like, oh, hello, other human. the 3 of Cups really says it's, like, a good relationship. And I love this. I think it's just gonna be a matter of, like, you need to feel solid within yourself so that they can kinda come in and, like, stand next to you because you are gonna have I keep kinda thinking, like, lioness energy, like, this very powerful being that is, like, and you're gonna need somebody who can stand next to you and do that. Yeah, like, this is, like, it's a good thing, and I think he's gonna kind of come out of nowhere, which is gonna be really nice. I think it's, lots of positive things about the relationship, but I think it is, like, one of those things where you need to first, like, focus on you and make sure you're good and you're doing well. I think, by the end of the year was your original question, I think. Is it gonna be by the end of I don't know, 2025 is in this. I don't think it's necessarily I think in a year, it's possible, but I don't necessarily think 2025 might be part of that. It might be the beginning of next year. Yeah, cool. Um, yeah, wow, that one took me a while to listen to everything that I wanted to chat, but really solid, exciting message in there though for you, Fazil. Falka, I don't know if you're still around. If you, I didn't have anybody up next, but I can definitely fit you in if you would like. Yeah, I'm really feeling solid about this, Fazil. In case you are curious, this feels really good, and I'm very excited for you. There's not much else that's. I got the message, and now I've said it, and it feels like cool. We're good. I hope that's all right for you. All right. All right. And I'm glad I said your name correct, Falka. Mhm. Perfect. My chat disconnected for a hot second there, but I think we're good. Okay. You are so welcome, Fazila. And thank you for sticking around and your patience. That was very appreciated. All right. Folka. I have options in case you and I can do just a general reading as well. So if there is anything, otherwise, if you do have a specific inquiry, I do not pry into other people's lives, just so you're aware. Because I don't, they're not here to consent, and I'm not comfortable with that. But if there is anything, and I'll let you know if I'm comfortable or not with the question. No, for Folka, not you, Fazila. But thank you. Past, present, possible, future. Is there anything in particular that you want, or just a general reading? Ooh, dropping cards. Perfect. I love a general reading. I love letting the cards be able to say whatever they need to say. If spirit's got something to say, oh, they'll say it. Half the time, I've had readings though, where somebody will ask like a specific inquiry, and the cards will be like, "No, we need to discuss this thing first." And it's like, "Oh, all right, then we're discussing this thing first." And I do keep my VODs up, so if you ever want to revisit, we are at 2 hours and 2 minutes on this VOD, Folka. I keep forgetting to tell people timestamps. I'm sorry. But if you ever want to revisit this reading, I will hopefully have my VODs up. If I've got all my settings correct, it should be up. So I guess we're going to find out. Yeah. Oh, I hope you have some patience because these cards want to get shuffled for a little bit. I hope everybody's day is well. Oh yeah. All right. We're almost there. She's starting to feel nice. Thank you. I don't think I shuffle well, but I appreciate it. I also am definitely one of those people who is like, when I mindlessly need to do something, I will shuffle cards. These cards are a little thick though. They're a little stiff. I love these cards, but they're just a touch stiff to really shuffle the way I would like. Oh man, they're getting these. The last two readings, they've been very, very picky about getting shuffled quite a bit though. So I'm sorry for the delay, but I swear it's important. Yeah, they are. They're still going. They got some energy to expel. This card is important. Okay. Keep shuffling. All right, keep shuffling. That's why. Okay. This is past. This is present. But we don't. Okay. Where do you want future? Oh. Future from the bottom. All right. If you say so. I can't shuffle at all. It just takes practice. My actual recommendation is take a deck of cards and just watch a movie and practice the entire time. That's the best way to do it. It's how I learned how to riffle shuffle. All right. Past, present, future for Falka. These cards all want to be revealed at once. They just want the whole. Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. This is a very serious. I don't know if it's because those look scary. They're not scary. The devil is one of my favorite cards. It's one of my absolute favorite cards. It's not a scary reading. This is like I do think it's going to be like serious, like intellectually almost, like a mentally you've been doing some serious work, if that makes sense. You've probably been putting in a lot of mental work, and there is a certain power that comes with that. And that's what these are giving. It's not scary. Well, I suppose some power is scary. That is a fair thing to say. I like that you are in a time of movement right now, and that things probably feel very heavy. And there is, when things feel really rough, things can feel very dark. And I think that might be why your initial gut reaction is like, everything's scary. Like, yeah, that's fair. And that's not necessarily wrong either. There is just, in this moment, you're just kind of in between things. And that can be really hard. Being on this like journey, which this path as you're trying to make this long journey, and especially if you're doing it alone, I think it's a little deer, little donkey or something. I can't quite tell. Of course, my camera doesn't want to autofocus either. But like you're just on this like little lone path, which is very interesting in all these pictures that feels very lonely. And that might be because it's what you've been used to. It might be what's been comfortable. And it might also just be circumstances. I think this is kind of more of a comfort thing, to be honest. I would really recommend that you reach out to people that you connect with at all and just like set up a time to talk, get coffee. Maybe it's just even like a video chat. That's the word maybe it's time for me to log off. Goodness, I can't even think of the word video chat. There is sometimes that we need to lean on others, and this is seeming like a time for you to lean on others. Not in a bad way, just like in a allow your emotions to exist way and allow things to happen. This seems like a very carefree, not rooted anywhere kind of a thing, and that might be something that you want to work on in this. It can be very tempting to stay solitary. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but the balance does need to be there. I don't know if any of that resonates with you right off the bat. But I think you'll have some things kind of fall apart if you stay in this solitary thing. And you don't have to go into details. I should have clarified. I just wanted to know. Thank you for saying yes. You don't have to tell me details or anything. This is your personal life. Feel free to keep it to yourself. But I'm just letting you know. But yeah, I want you to like realize that this isolation, as an introvert myself, and that might not be all that is happening in this, it can sometimes be very it can sometimes be very hard to trust others, and it can sometimes feel like others don't want you, and that's a very scary thing to just say yes. Like to like it's very easy to just keep that habit going. This is not a time to do that. This is a time to kind of break free of that and use all that amazing power and strength and all the work you've done on yourself and let it shine. This is the time to like go and try something new. Find a group or hang out. If you already and that's if you're willing to do like some new relationships and stuff, which I think would not necessarily be a bad thing, but like re-establishing older relationships. Sometimes you'd be surprised how many people will respond really well, even if we haven't talked in a long time. I think it surprises a lot of people that it's like, oh, I can, like, we can reconnect. And sometimes it's good that we had time apart because we both got time to grow. And that can be really, really nice. Does that resonate? Is there a clarifying question or anything that you have upon that? I also don't believe your future is set in stone, by the way. I think you always have the power to change it. Um, I just think that the devil is trying to tempt you into this consistent solitary life, and I don't think it's necessarily a good temptation in this situation. So, I would suggest, especially with this lack of cups in here, this lack of like relationship energy is where I'm pulling the kind of reconnect with other people. Excuse me. That's totally fair. And yeah, I'm not surprised I got a trust thing. I'm glad that resonated with you because it felt kind of weird to say, and I'm glad it resonated with you just to mention trusting others. Um, but and one, I'm glad you were able to have the strength to do that, like, and realize that hey, things needed to get cut off. The nice thing nowadays is that we live in an era where we can connect with so many people, and sometimes that feels overwhelming. But we are able to like connect with people. So if it's kind of scary to reach back out, you can like look into Facebook groups or Discord servers, um, various communities. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I have a couple of burpees and they're like not quite coming out. And there's places to connect that don't necessarily have to be the intimidating, like sitting across the table from somebody. And sometimes that is more comfortable. So maybe it's picking up a hobby or, because like some places have like knitting groups or something that meet at like a coffee shop and you can just like enjoy coffee while you learn to knit or something. There's just various little things that are offered to allow you to go and see if you do like other people or not. And that's not to say that you don't like other people, but to like kind of figure out where you vibe kind of a deal. I how do I want to say this? You're potentially heading into a rocky place, and I don't want you to have things fall apart because of a loose foundation. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And I think that you just need to build a couple little stakes in the ground, and I think you'll be good. Oh, I I don't know. Have you gotten your tarot read before, Falka? I get that reaction quite a bit with I read some for somebody who had only seen like the TikTok general readings and they were like, you literally said something that I was thinking in my mind and I never said to anybody. How'd you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I just told you what the card said. And yeah, it's why I got into tarot and I was kind of surprised, like, whoa. Oh, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah. You're willing to take it a second shot though, which I appreciate. And thanks for letting me be the person to do it. I thank you. And I do wanna say that nothing it kinda came up with, like, that your current relationship with your boyfriend is bad or anything, if that was a concern at all. That doesn't seem to be part of it, but I think there's, like, a certain amount of just, like, isolation that has happened for you, so that's hard. Yeah, if you've cut out, like, family and friends well, I shouldn't say you cut out your family, but, like, there's a lot of communication that's dropped. That's hard. And it's gonna be rough reestablishing those. So, especially if you're out of practice and every relationship is work. That's the that's the hard part as myself, I have that conversation with my partner all the time where I'm like, "I don't wanna put in the work some days for this friendship." It's like, "Yeah, but it's really good for me to have that friendship." So, nothing in particular unless there is something that you're kind of hoping for. Um, but, like, its main message has been heard, if that makes sense. There is there's a really strong mental reasoning with you, and sometimes your emotions need to be heard and felt. That would be the only thing, and I think that's kind of part of the journey that you're on right now is and maybe you haven't fully realized it, but, like, there is a certain burden of keeping your emotions to yourself. And the nice thing is that if you can or are able to expand, you will have more people to kind of share those emotions with. Because like, oh, I about said a Twitter rant, but I know Twitter doesn't exist technically anymore, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But, like, a Twitter rant is not the same as having a human being that you can talk to and vent and explain things to. So, that would be my only other thing, I think. Yeah. Interestingly, I'm just noticing this now. There's gray skies here. We have like a wing half blocking the sky, and then we have trees blocking. So there does seem like something is blocked, but I'm not exactly sure what. And that might be something that you personally know. You're like, "Oh, I know what's blocking me." And I don't need you don't have to share it with me, the reader, so that's okay. Hmm. Well, let's pull one more card. Let's just do it. Let's pull one more card for what is blocking your energy, if that's all right. Let's do one more clarity card. You're getting a free fourth card. Why not? Feeling spicy. Nope. 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 Hold on, girl. This one right below it. Okay. This is our blocked energy. You're invested. I am invested. I have told some people in my life that I do tarot because I'm nosy and because I want to know what everybody else is doing. I want to know about your life. I don't want to hear about mine. I hate doing readings for myself because I'm like, I already know that. You don't need to call me out like that. And I'm like, I want to know what everybody else is though. I'm too nosy. So sorry, I'm out here being nosy. Hello, Chrissy Chrissy. Yes, one moment. I'm finishing up a different reading and then I'm happy to add you to the list. Welcome to the stream. What did I say? What is our blocked energy? That's what it was. Blocked energy. Ooh. Oh, girl, this is. Yep. You just you need to allow yourself It's okay to be happy. Hello, Marie. Yes, I will happily add you as well. Uh, all right. Yeah, I think you might feel a little falka. Back to you. Hello. I my brain. Um where was my train of thought? It's left the building. Yes. You're the cups look the cups are this is like one of the happiest cards in the deck in my opinion, and I think you just need to allow yourself to be happy. It's okay. You've been so like I think this actually worked out really well. The clouds will part. Woo! What a beautiful picture for this. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's in the sense of like it's just so wonderful. Things will work out, things will align. This is also an excellent relationships wise. This is all going to work out. But here's the thing. I do not believe fate is set in stone. You still have to put in the work. You still got to do what you were going to do, and I think this is a really good, like, you can do it. It will be amazing, but you do still have to put the work in, and that's the only thing. Um, I love this rainbow that we have. Like, it suggests to me that the storm has ended, and now you get to deal with the beautiful aftermath. The flowers get to grow. You get to see the rainbow in the sky. You are gonna have your community grow, all of that. But the caveat is that you still have to do the work. You can't just fall into your old patterns. You do still have to put the work in. That is the thing. That's not what I have to do. The King of Swords in your past is a very like it's a powerful, clear thinking individual, and it's I'm trying to like figure out how the best way to exude his power into words. Because his is such an energy to me when I read that it's in the past. This is in the past position for this reading that there was probably at some point where intellectually it was the supreme way to handle situations, and that's kind of just what you've been able to do is like intellectually just move forward by having having that like reign, if that makes sense. I don't yeah like how am I trying to say this? It was the go-to answer for a really long time for you was to just kind of logically figure things out, and that way has proven really good for you in the past, and now it's time to like allow the emotions to arise and not just logic your way through everything is what that means in this sense. I go in order of people asking. So Chrissy, you're next, and then I um yeah. And I do, if people are interested in picking out their decks, I have hold on, maybe not. I do have a video where you can pick out your deck. Oh, that's because I'm hitting the wrong buttons. It's like 5 minutes. The first half is all my tarot decks, so if you wish to pick out your tarot deck for the reading, you may. But yeah. Falka, what are you thinking? I feel like we're at a really good spot and that the tarot cards have really given you a lot of messages, so. All right. This is the temptation that I was talking about. That devil card is the temptation of wanting to stay solitary. That's where that was coming from, is that devil card. Um, it's it's very tempting to like want to stay in your ways, and that's why I'm suggesting that you need to shake things up, is that you are in the future is looking at potentially being the same as it is, and it doesn't sound like you want it to be the same as it is. You want to have things changed, and it looks really good if you're willing to do the work. I really think that this like 10 of cups is like an alternate future. So you have like these two future options, and it's like which would you prefer? Kind of a deal. Yeah. I'm very excited for you, Falka, by the way. I think this is actually a really great opportunity. So I know it came off very dark when we pulled those cards out, but I think you're actually sitting in a really good spot. And it just was like the little like nudge in the direction for you. So I'm very excited. Thank you for letting me read for you, by the way. I very much appreciated reading for you. Oh, I know some of those cards just can be a little panic inducing, but they're really okay, I promise. You're welcome, Falka. Thank you so much for letting me read for you again, and thanks for sticking with me through it. All right. I'm going to move on to Chrissy. Oh, perfect. Thanks so much, Falka. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm hoping to do more live streams. Potentially Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. I have like Tarot Tuesday, Tarot Thursday. Just because that's kind of when I have availability right now, but we'll see in the future if that changes. So who knows? All right. All right. Chrissy, are you still here? Yeah, 1 second, Marie. I'm just gonna give Chrissy another minute or so to see if they're still here, and otherwise we'll move forward. But I think they're still in chat. I thought I saw them, so I just want to give them the opportunity. I do appreciate your patience, Marie. I will put up my card options. Otherwise, kind of thing. I will just say this kind of as a broad strokes, quick. I do not read into other people's lives. So if you want a relationship reading, I'm not telling you if they have feelings for you or how they're doing or whatever. That's not okay with me because I ask for consent to read. But I'm happy to do a like kind of how they're feeling or like how you can best support them. That's what I'm trying to say. That's kind of more my thing. So yeah. And Chrissy, are you still here? Seeing if you just walked away quickly for something and then came back or not. Yeah, so thank you so much, Falka. Thanks for sticking for as long as you did. It's totally okay. I get it. Sometimes there's a lot to process after a tarot reading, and sometimes you just gotta go do other stuff. So thank you so much for sticking and for letting me read for you today. Doesn't help with my arms in front of the camera. I do keep the VODs up as well, or I'm trying to. So if you wish to ever come back and see how something is, so if you want to see how something ended up manifesting or anything, that can be really nice to have the VOD. Chrissy, this is going to be your last call. And I'll probably call you again after the next one just to see, but I don't think you're in chat anymore. So I don't see you in my participants list. Marie, what is your question? Yeah, we can definitely do a past, present, future on your love life. All right. It wants to be here. And it wants this to be the present. It wants that one to be the past. And it wants that one to be the future. Man, this deck has been having some weird cuts today. It's been fussy about getting shuffled, and then it's getting fussy about which cards I pull. But that's all right. All right. Past, present, future, love life. Love that. Oh, so excited. Okay. Oh, now knocking stuff around on my desk. All right. Past, present, future of your love life. Okay. Overall vibes. So we're going to look at the overall vibes. Ooh, heartbreak in your past is not a fun time. I'm so sorry. Sorry that is the case. The good news is that growing from it is good, in that you have grown from it. There's been a lot of growth from that moment, which is really nice. And I'm sorry you had to go through the pain that comes with growth. It's not fun. There's something just so uncomfortable about growing as a human being. Sometimes and that's the feeling I get right now, is that it was like really rough to do. And wasn't what you wanted to do. Let's see here. Her 7. Oh, yeah. Okay. We are taking our time and putting into and investing to what we would like to have happen. I love that. I'm not sure if you are. Okay. At least you know your past. I'm glad that it wasn't like a call out. It seems like we are like kind of like setting down the foundation at this moment. You're trying to like prepare and be like, I'm ready whenever my relationship wants to come in here and like tell me hello, which is great. I love that you're ready for it. I have bad news in the sense that it doesn't seem like it's quite coming potentially as soon as you would like. And it's going to be that castle, or I think it's a little village, but the village is a bit off. We still got some path to go, and it's going to be a beautiful path, which is nice. We got lots of lovely flowers to look at, beautiful butterflies. It's going to be a good journey, but you need to be okay with just taking that journey and having the time. I'm trying to hear if there's a specific timeline. I keep getting months. There's a matter of months that it keeps saying. Like it doesn't tell me a specific number, though it does feel like it's somewhere like 5 or 6. 5 or 6 months is the time frame I'm getting. I can't tell though I don't know if you are a monogamous soulmate person or anything, like what your belief system is. So I can't tell if this is like the one, or if this is just like a really good relationship is coming and that this is going to be important. So I can't say on a hard yes, it's the soulmate is coming, but there's like it's a really good thing, and it looks like you've been doing some real good work on yourself, which is awesome. Sorry you had to go through the growing pains to get there. That's really rough. And but like the good news is it's really in your benefit. Like good things that you have done, you have set that foundation, you are ready for it. We now just have to sit and wait. And it's just like some time. I also um not sure if you caught some of my other readings. I do not believe fate is set in stone. I do not think that it's one of those things where you have to be like uh fate is not set in stone. So your path and what you were doing before the cards were pulled and perfect. I love hearing that you're focusing on yourself because you need to keep doing that. That's kind of what is happening here is like whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. It's working really well. And it's not a time to pivot and like change your direction or like go on to like a speed dating or dating pool or start asking all your friends to hook that like to find out who to like go and date or anything. But this is like you should keep doing this and like time will allow you to have a good relationship to show up. And I think it's really given, like, you'll know when, and you'll know that it's time, but it's like yeah, it really doesn't want you to know the details. I'm gonna be real honest, this doesn't want you to know the details because that's gonna ruin it. I know that sounds super, super bad, but, like, you're on the right path, you've got your good footing. We're just gonna enjoy a nice little leisurely walk as we get to that destination. I know that sounds I know, I'm glad you had a good laugh with it because it does sound like the very fraud person of like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to know," but, like, it really is like, "No, don't tell the details because it's gonna ruin your journey." You're not actually gonna be able to, like it will change it'll have influenced so much that you will be like, "No, I'm changing how I was doing stuff, and I don't want that to happen," but you will know when it happens. That'll be the good thing. Don't know if you have any questions in particular or anything off of that. Cool. I'm really not trying to be like, I don't know. I think there's a good reason to have like hesitancy with tarot readers and stuff and like be a little aware, but I don't mean to like set myself up like I'm like a scummy trying to con you or anything. Don't know if you had any other questions about it at all, Marie. That one was very straightforward, which could be nice or bad. I'm glad it resonated, by the way. I'm happy that you were like, "Yep, this is this is vibing. This is matching my energy." Awesome. Is there anything else I could help you with, Marie? Or if anybody else is in chat? Thank you for letting me read for you, by the way, Marie. I do appreciate it. Chrissy ever came back. Kind of wandered off and ran off. I think that might be a good stopping point for me. That was wonderful. I'm glad people came into my chat, and I'm glad I was able to read. That was nice, and that was my first stream, and I'm really happy with how it went. So a lot of love things, which I kind of knew would be a thing. It's not my favorite thing to read. It is what it is. So, yeah, I'm happy that this went okay. And if you happen to be watching the VOD, thank you so much for watching. And I appreciate it. And I'm hoping to do more of this in the future and read for more people. So, yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm glad this was a possibility, which is awesome. So, yay. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, VOD watchers. I think my chat is empty right now, so you get to be my lovely people I get to say goodbye to. And yeah, I'm gonna peace out, I think. And thank you, everybody who stopped by and watched and everything. I appreciate it. I am gonna end stream here, though. I have been reading for almost 3 hours, and I have not done that before. And I need to still do some journaling and stuff before I go to bed with my own tarot pulls and stuff. So, but thank you again for everybody who came and watched. I think I glanced and I have some new subscribers, which is awesome. And happy everybody had a good time. It seemed like everybody was vibing. So yeah, goodbye.